Hi, I'm James Spears,
And I'm Cheng Yang.
and today we're going to talk to you about how to set up a wireless router for home networking.
For the setup, you are going to need a laptop, a wireless router, and an Ethernet cable. First off, you are going to need to plug in the power cord onto the router. Then next, you are going to need an Ethernet cable that's connected to your computer, plug in at the back of the wireless router. These ports can also be used to connect any wired devices you want on the network. Then connect the Ethernet cable from the modem that's provided by your phone or internet company onto the blue port labeled Internet. Next, you are going to plug in the Ethernet cable from the wireless router to the computer.
Alright, now that we've completed the physical cabling, now we need to configure the software on your router. First off, we're going to open a web browser, and then in your address bar you're going to type in 192.168.1.1. This is the default IP address for all Cisco routers out of the box. You're going to be prompted for a username and a password. Leave the username field blank and enter the password admin, A-D-M-I-N, all lowercase. This is the default password for Cisco routers out of the box. This is going to drop you on your initial configuration screen. The only thing you should change on here is setting your correct time zone. Then click Save Settings. It's extremely important that you click Save Settings on each page you make changes, because your work will not be stored while moving in between pages. Next, we're going to go to the Wireless tab. The first thing we're going to change is your network name, or SSID. Your SSID is the unique identifier you will use to select your network from a list of available wireless access points on any wireless devices you try to connect. So make sure it's something memorable. Underneath your SSID field, there's a field labeled radio band. For most users, leaving it at its default will be acceptable. However, setting it to standard gives you channels 1 through 11 that you can select. Certain devices, such as cordless phones, microwaves, and other appliances, can cause radio frequency interference that can impact the performance of your network, not to mention the wireless networks that your neighbors might have set up. If you're experiencing issues, you could try going and changing to a different channel. Even though there are 11 options available, due to interference from channels overlapping, the only channels you should be using are 1, 6, and 11. And as always, remember to save your settings. Next, we're going to look at wireless security. With the prevalence of identity theft, it's extremely important that you protect all of the personal information stored on your computer. The strongest type of wireless security currently for home networks is WPA2 Personal. You're going to need to type in a passphrase. Make sure this is something memorable. As you're going to have to enter it on any wireless device you try to connect to your network. Remember to save your settings. Next, we're going to change the default password you use to access your router. As the default password is widely known, it's not very secure and could easily, is probably the first thing that's going to be guessed by anybody attempting to gain access to your router without your permission. Just like any other password you use, make sure that it's both random enough to be secure while also being something easy to remember. This is easier said than done. Next, we're going to go down to Remote Management and enable it. This is going to allow you to access the administrative functions of your router by entering its IP address, in this case 192.168.1, from any device connected to your network without having to be physically cabled to the router. Scroll down and remember to save your settings. It's going to ask you to log back in with your new password. And there you have it. At this point, you have now successfully configured your router for home networking. Next, we just need to connect your PC.
To connect to the network we just configured, click on the network connections icon in the system tray. Then select the SSID we previously configured. You will be prompted for your WPA2 password. Enter it in and wait for the connection to establish. And there you have it. Your router is now successfully configured for your home networking.
Once again, I'm James Spears.
And I'm Cheng Yang.
Thank you for watching.